What's up? Here we go, guys, again. So I thought about recently why I really want to do this, and I think it's because I really do have a passion to see men grow stronger in the Word. I know that over the past 20 something years of my life, God has brought some remarkable men in my life to help me through things, carry some burdens for me when they needed me to, when I needed them to. And so when I came across my journal, I just wanted to see kind of things that God was talking to me about 20 years ago, how it relates today. And it's crazy as we get into today. So this is from April 4th, 2003, Psalms 23, 2 and 3. It says, He makes me lie down in green pasture. He leads me beside quiet waters. He restores my soul. He guides me in the path of righteousness. And I'm thinking about some things I'm going through right now. It's just a hard time in life for a lot of different reasons. Relationships, work, business, a lot of moving parts. And it's, as a man, I think it's so often that we just feel like the things on our shoulders are getting too heavy. And so when I opened my journal, I'm like, God, I really needed that scripture today, Lord. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. And so I wrote in my journal back on April 4, 2003, if I let God work and control my life, He will take care of me. He will restore my soul. He will lead me into righteousness, and everything is for His name's sake. And regardless of how dark it is right now, regardless of how hard, as I try harder to work my way out of the situation, the burden becomes heavier. And as I continue to finally get to that point of brokenness, and I lay down in this valley and I have to look to the hilltop where He's at, it's like those burdens leave, and I realize I don't have to do it on my strength. The next was God's calling. So Acts 4, let's see what Acts 4, 12, 13 says. It's so much fun just kind of going through these old journals and these things I wrote and what is going on. So let's see, Acts 4:13. Now as they observed the confidence of Peter and John and understood that they were uneducated and untrained men, they were amazed and began to recognize them as having been with Jesus. And I said, people saw that Peter and John were uneducated, but yet they brought people to Christ. How will people see that I am with Jesus? Father, please give me understanding and peace that will use what I know for your glory. Man, again, I know personally there's so many times I feel like I have to have it all together. I feel like I need to put this strength and this presence out there. And the truth matter is, within the inside, I'm telling myself, I'm not worthy. I don't have what it takes. I can't lead my family. My career is too much for me. And God's saying, look, I'm using the most uneducated. I'm using the untrained. I'm using the people who are most likely to succeed for my glory. And that's what it ultimately comes down to when you keep your focus on what He wants on your life and not what you want. Those burdens we talked about a little bit earlier seem to ease a little bit because now you're giving it to Him. You're not working for you and your success and what you see success are. You're now starting to see it through Jesus' eyes and what He has for your life. 2 Timothy 2:2. But Father, it is no good to learn what you're teaching, but not letting others know. It is selfish. Lord, bring a faithful man in who we can share with each other men you have taught us. And, I think that's beautiful. I just shared with you guys, a big reason I want to do this is because I want to reach other men. There was a story, I had nutrition clubs, and a few years ago, I had a mom come into the nutrition club with her daughter. It was during school hours, and so usually it's doctor's appointments or a school appointment. And I asked her, hey, so you got a doctor's appointment today? And the mom leaned in and said, no, we just went to a funeral for her best friend who lost her dad. And then the mom leaned in even more and said he committed suicide. And it was the second dad that year that committed suicide. And these aren't men who are struggling financially. These aren't men who are not successful. I live in a city that's very well off. A big part of the city is. And to think about these men who, again, seem to have it on the outside, but they're breaking apart on the inside. I've struggled with it personally myself, where sometimes just things will get to you. You don't feel like you have an outlet. And I want to be an outlet, right, for men. And I do things like jiu-jitsu, where we created these amazing group of men that are really starting to open up and share life with one another, where we can pray with another, be honest about our struggles, understand that God's grace is so much bigger. You can't out-sin God's grace. And so 2 Timothy 2:2 says, the things which you have heard from in the presence of many witnesses, entrust these to faithful men who be able to teach others also. And I was given this by a man who discipled me. And he said, look, when you get out of here, when we go our different ways, disciple other men. And that's what the gospel's about, living life among the lost, discipling other men, helping men through their struggles, helping us become the men we're called to be, the warriors on this earth. And then Matthew 28:18-20 is God's commission, was the last verse wrote down there. It says, go therefore, I need to go out into the land, make disciples of all the nations, spread God's love so it goes across seas, teach them of what God commanded you. When I'm seeking you earnestly, the Spirit will take over, and I will do what you commanded. And here I am, 20 years later from writing this and thinking about how I started and opened up. I have this passion, and we were just talking about this with my buddy this morning, Logan, as we were working out about starting a Bible study for men, where we can open up, we can share, we can talk about raising our kids, we can talk about what it's like to live with your wives, just be honest and real. And so if you're out there struggling, if you need some help, feel free to reach out to me. Let's start a conversation, find me on Instagram. Let's become the men we're designed to be.